Kat and Jess Talk the Best. We're going to be talking about IMDb's top 250 movies from April 12th, 2018. My name is Kat.
And I'm Jess.
And today we are talking about our superhero movies. This is the fourth of the four that we are doing. This is Avengers Infinity War, which is an action-adventure fantasy film from 2018. This has an 8.5 on 585,679 votes. And it also is currently, as of when we're recording, number 59 on the IMDb top 250 list.
Well, with an 8.5, I can see why it's that high.
Yeah. So it's pretty far up there. And we did our list before it came out. So it's not on our list. So I'm glad we get to talk about it.
Now.
Yeah. Iron Man, Thor, the Hulk, and the rest of the Avengers unite to battle their most powerful enemy yet, the evil Thanos. On a mission to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, Thanos plans to use the artifacts to inflict his twisted will on reality. The fate of the planet and existence itself has never been more uncertain, as everything the Avengers have fought for has led up to this moment.
Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah.
I'd agree with it. Alright,
too.
So this is directed by two brothers. The Russo brothers, Anthony and, is it Joe?
Yeah, Joe.
Okay, and they directed some other Marvel films. Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War, and they got to direct Avengers Endgame, which comes out in about 2 months.
Yep. It actually comes out, it's funny, it comes out April 25th, which is 2 days before a year anniversary of this film.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, it stars a bunch of people. I'll just list the first 3. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and Mark Ruffalo.
Iron Man, Thor, and the Hulk. Like in the synopsis.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters in this movie, so...
Yeah,
I just listed the first 3.
Tons.
So many.
I love the poster for this movie because it shows so many of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah. Alright, so... Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. The Metacritic rating for this is a 68. And then the average rating on Rotten Tomatoes is a 7.6. It has an 85% on the tomato meter. 417 critics reviewed it. 353 were fresh. 64 were rotten. 2 of the fresh, Matthew Lacona. Maybe the quips and the punchlines are there because they have to be. What with the film's steady parade of failure and even death, plans fail, characters fail, even sacrifices fail. It's not exactly refreshing, but it is bracing and even gratifying. So, Christopher Orr. Never has the Marvel Cinematic Universe seemed like more of a universe in ways both good and bad. Infinity War, the title is almost too apt, is far from a perfect movie, but it is probably close to being the best it could have been. Yeah.
Okay. I can see that.
I feel like that's not really negative.
It's a fresh.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I was still in fresh.
I got you.
I'm confusing myself.
This is number 4, so you're completely good.
We're getting there. So, 2 rotten. Anthony Lane, at stake as ever is the fate of the universe. Why must it always be the universe? What's wrong with the fate of Hackensack? Doesn't anyone care about what happens to South Dakota or Denmark or Peru? Okay. He obviously has not seen any other freaking Marvel movie because it's not always the universe. The only other ones where it was the universe is the Guardians movies.
Yeah.
The rest of them, the first Avengers was the Earth. The second Avengers was the Earth. Like, each of the individual Marvel movies, like, for each character is whatever specific town they are in.
Like, Iron Man was the West Coast.
Yeah. Like, and Iron Man wasn't even the fate of California. Iron Man was the fate of Tony Stark.
Pretty much.
Like, this guy has obviously never seen any of the rest of the cinematic universe.
There's a lot of films, so you better start catching up.
Yeah. Like, it's not always the fate of the universe. That's annoying. Okay. Richard Brody, the insubstantiality of the film isn't due to the infinite yet flimsy malleability of CGI gimmickry, but instead the dispersion of its drama throughout the many cinematic installments set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But that's not fair. He's, like, judging the whole cinematic universe, not just this movie.
That was just a lot of big words to say that...
That was a lot of big words.
To say, like, I don't like the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he's saying.
To say it that way.
He's like...
I feel like he's trying to get, like, a word count in.
I feel like this little snippet of his review is, I didn't like the CGI in this movie, and I don't like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Pretty much. But you had to use really big words for it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay. So, here we go. The consensus. Avengers Infinity War ably juggles a dizzying array of MCU heroes in the fight against the gravest threat yet, and the result is a thrilling, emotionally resonant blockbuster that mostly realizes its gargantuan ambitions.
Okay. I can kind of see that.
Yeah. So, the budget. This one set a lot of records with its money.
Yeah, I noticed
that for sure. I remember it going crazy with the money when it came out. So the budget was $321 million. The U.S. it made $678,815,482. Internationally, it made $1,369,544,272 for a worldwide total of $2,048,359,754.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So the opening weekend, it made $257,698,183. It opened in 4,474 theaters. It was there for 140 days, which is a total of 20 weeks. Its all-time domestic rank is number 4. Its highest all-time rank hit on June 17th of last year. It hit number 4. It's the highest it has hit. So yeah, this movie made a ton of money.
A lot of money. Wow.
Yeah. So this movie has been nominated for 1 Oscar. We don't know if it's won yet or not because when we're recording this, the Oscars haven't happened. When we release this, the Oscars will have already happened. So, it also won 25 other awards and had 57 other nominations. So the awards circuit, community awards, best visual effects, best stunt ensemble, the Davy Awards, augmented reality, best use of technology, Denver Films Critics Society, best visual effects, Hollywood Film Awards, visual effects of the year, Hollywood Post Alliance US, outstanding visual effects feature film, Indiana Film Journalists Association, best vocal motion capture performance by Josh Brolin, who plays Thanos. Los Angeles Online Film Critics Society Awards, best visual effects, Best Visual Effects or Animated Performance. Nevada Film Critics Society, Best Visual Effects. Online Film and Television Association, Best Visual Effects. People's Choice Awards, Favorite Movie and Favorite Action Movie. St. Louis Film Critics Association, Best Visual Effects. Teen Choice Awards, Choice Movie Action. Choice Movie Actor for Action, Robert Downey Jr. Choice Movie Actress Action, Scarlett Johansson. UK Film Review Awards, Best Superhero Movie. Vega Digital Awards, it got Social Media Award. Then Visual Effects Society Awards, Outstanding Visual Effects in Photoreal Feature. Outstanding Animated Character in Photoreal Feature for Thanos. Outstanding Effects Simulations in a Photoreal Feature, Titan. Outstanding Compositing in a Photoreal Feature for Titan. Washington, D.C. Area Film Critics Association Awards, Best Motion Capture Performance for Josh Brolin. So, visual effects.
Mostly visual.
Yeah.
And I would agree.
Yeah, I'd say this movie is stunning.
Visually stunning. I would agree.
Yes. Yes. So, initial thoughts. What'd you think?
I do remember the first time I watched this. It was in the movie theaters.
It was last year.
It was from last year, so it wasn't that long ago. I watched it with Logan and a bunch of his friends, and I didn't realize I had to watch Doctor Strange before it. So I was a little lost with Doctor Strange showing up, but it's fine. I gotta explain later. I did like it, but it seemed to me a bit long. I mean, there's a lot going on. They have a lot of story to tell. I just felt like it was a little long, and some parts lagged a little.
Okay.
But that's me. And again, I'm not a big action person either, so.
Yeah, and this one's got a lot of action.
A lot of action, and for me, sometimes too much action is too much. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to zone out now. But for this one, for the most part, I stayed focused, because I knew it was important.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of story going on.
Yeah. I remember first time I watched it. I've actually probably seen it a good 20 times.
That's why this is your film.
Yeah, I love this. I love it so much. First time I watched it, the whole week going up to it, Sean was telling me characters, like, who he thought was going to die just to mess with me.
Oh, I know.
Because so many of them die in this movie. Like, it's...
So many. It's like a freaking bloodbath.
Yeah, but so I was like really already emotionally torn going into this. And then we watched it and I was so done by the end of it. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe what I just watched. And it was everything that I wanted it to be. Even though I was upset at the end.
Yeah.
Reasonably so, I was upset at the end.
I think most people
it
were.
Was still everything that I wanted it to be for it being what it is.
Yeah.
I think they did a wonderful job with this movie.
I do like it. I'm not saying it's not a great movie. I do like it.
Yeah.
I just, for me.
Yeah. I think that's all of our thoughts for initial thoughts anyways.
Yeah, I think so.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
That was your warning. If you haven't watched the film yet, then stop listening and come back once you've watched it. So we start off this movie with the distress call from Asgard.
Yes.
Because obviously if you've watched this, you've seen most, if not all, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It helps to know and watch all of them, trust me.
Yes. So at the end of Thor Ragnarok, which was the last movie no, I think Black Panther was the last movie before this. But at the end of Thor Ragnarok, Asgard was destroyed, so all of the Asgardians were on a ship. And this is the distress call from that ship. They are under attack. They're under attack by Thanos and the children of Thanos.
Yes.
So, after the distress call, we hear one of the children of Thanos. His name is Dama. He's like a telekinesis guy. He's given some little speech about how you're being saved and this and that and the other. Because he's brainwashed by Thanos as well.
Yeah.
So, we're on the ship, and Heimdall, he is like the gatekeeper kind of guy he was on Asgard. And he's dying because he was in the battle for Asgard at the end, and he was injured pretty badly, and now he's in this battle and he's still injured.
The man just cannot get away from it.
Yeah, so poor Heimdall.
Yeah.
So Thor is on this ship, Loki is on this ship, and the Hulk is on this ship.
Yes.
So there's quite a few people that could defend this from Thanos, but they just can't. Like, they are torn down at the moment.
Yeah, because Thanos already has one of the stones.
Yes, he has the purple stone,
Power
which is the
Stone.
Power Stone.
Yeah, Power Stone.
Yep. So he's already pretty much the strongest being in all of the universe.
Already, with just one stone.
Yeah. So he is threatening Thor, trying to get him to reveal where the Space Stone is, which is in the Tesseract. But Thor thinks that the Tesseract was destroyed when Asgard was destroyed.
But that's not true.
Loki, being the god of mischief,
It's
has
Loki.
it.
Come on.
Loki has it.
He does.
So Loki pulls his little tricks and kind of tricks Thanos into thinking he's going to give it to him, but then he's like, oh, we have the Hulk. And so the Hulk comes out and, like, beats him up and stuff like that.
That doesn't work too well, now does
The
it?
Hulk gets his butt whooped.
Yeah. He's like, the Hulk may be strong, but Thanos has, the Power Stone. And
Yeah. And so this is pretty much the last time we see the Hulk, is here on this Asgardian ship. Like, this is pretty much the only time in this movie we see him.
The Hulk, the actual Hulk. We're not talking about
Yeah.
the actual character like Bruce Banner. No.
Yeah, Bruce Banner we do see, but the Hulk we do not see.
And that's kind of a big problem. But, yeah.
So then Thor is trying to attack Thanos, but Dama, he uses his telekinesis and, like, wraps Thor up in wreckage and stuff and, like, restrains him. As his last, like, dying action, Heimdall sends Hulk to Earth to warn whoever he can about Thanos.
Yes.
Because the first Avengers movie, we've already had a slight encounter with Thanos, so they know who Thanos is. They know that he's powerful, they know he's a big bad, so they've got to get a warning out. And so Thanos kills Heimdall for sending the Hulk away.
Yes.
And this isn't just like I'm gonna kill you and you can be resurrected later. Like, Heimdall is dead. There's no coming back.
No.
So then Loki is trying to trick Thanos still again.
Trying, because it's Loki.
Yeah. He has given the Space Stone already to Thanos. Like, trying to pretend that he's still serving him like he was in the first Avengers movie.
That don't work.
But he then tries to attack Thanos, and he gets killed. And this isn't one of his fake deaths either. Like,
No.
he dies quite a few times.
This is like neck snapping too.
Yeah.
That was gross.
Yeah, he's dead.
That one was like, okay, you can't really come back from that one now, can you?
Yeah.
That one I was
So-
like, oh my god, we're starting out a movie like this? Okay.
Yeah, we're already not including all the Asgardians that are dead from this attack, we are already 2 deaths in, and we're probably maybe 10 minutes into the movie.
Only. And you're like, oh my god. Alright, this is how it's going. Okay.
Yeah. So Thanos has the Power Stone and the Space Stone now. So he sets fire to the rest of the ship with the Power Stone, and he uses the Space Stone to leave with his company of the children of Thanos.
And Thor's just left there.
Yep.
Grieving.
Yeah. Because Thor knows that this isn't, like, Loki's not coming back this time. And that's his brother.
Yes.
Like, as much as they fought, that's his brother.
You're like, that's still my brother. They grew up together and everything, so.
Yeah. So, the Hulk lands, or he's heading to Earth.
Yeah.
And then it jumps to Doctor Strange and his friend,
Wong.
Wong, that's it. I was like, I always forget his name. Because I've only seen Doctor Strange once. But Doctor Strange and Wong are discussing sandwiches.
Yeah, just talking.
That's what they're talking about at this point. And then the Hulk lands in the Sanctum.
Yes.
And
he changes back to Bruce Banner.
Yep, he has changed back, and he warns Wong and Doctor Strange about Thanos, that Thanos is coming. And Doctor Strange is like, who's Thanos? Because he hasn't encountered Thanos yet.
No.
So then we jump to Tony and Pepper, and they were like out for a jog or something, it looks like. Out for a walk or a jog or something. And Tony is telling Pepper that he had this like really vivid dream about her being pregnant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so I'm just going to say my theories when we come up to them.
Go for it.
I don't really know what's happening, but I have I think that they aren't going to kill Tony in Endgame. I have a feeling that he's just going to retire. Like, he's going to be done with it, and he's going to be partially done with it just because he can't take it anymore, but then he's also partially going to be done with it because Pepper actually is pregnant.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's a good theory.
And also, I don't really want to think about them killing Tony.
No.
Because I like him.
Love Iron Man.
So, yeah, they're discussing the future and everything, and then Doctor Strange just kind of comes out of his little portal thingy.
Yeah.
And comes and talks to them and says that he needs help because of Thanos. And so Tony goes with Doctor Strange, and my guess is Pepper goes home.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not in the park later.
No.
So, Doctor Strange and Wong and Bruce Banner and Tony Stark are all talking about Thanos and the stones, and Doctor Strange is saying, well, he'll never get the time stone. Like, that will never happen. He'll get that over my dead body. Is pretty much. Because Doctor Strange does have the time stone.
He does have the time stone, and the mind stone is with someone else.
Yep. They say Vision has the mind stone, and then they don't know where the soul stone is.
No.
And that the reality stone is safe somewhere else, they think. So they know that he already has the space stone, and they know that he already has the power stone. So they're like, well, if we keep the soul stone and the mind stone, or not the soul stone, the time stone and the mind stone safe, we're fine.
You think.
I mean, and then Bruce is asking about, can't we get help? Like, isn't there anyone that can help us? Like, can't you call Cap? And Tony has to fill Bruce in because Bruce has been gone since the end of the second Avengers.
Yeah, because he was up there, because if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, he's up there with Thor and on Planet Hulk, and yeah.
Yeah, he's been gone for 2 years, so he has
gone a
no
while.
idea. Like, he doesn't know anything about what happened during Civil War when Tony and Cap, like, faced off because of Bucky. So, Tony kind of explains and says that he doesn't think that he can call Cap for help. And then the children of Thanos show up in New York.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the time stone from Doctor Strange.
Yep, they know that Doctor Strange has it, so it's Dama and another guy that I don't know his name. I can't think of it. I don't know.
Obsidian, I think?
Obsidian? That sounds right. That's one of them. So yeah, Dama and Obsidian. I think you're right with Obsidian.
I think.
They are there to fight with Doctor Strange to get the time stone. And then we jump to Peter Parker. He is on a school bus. He's going on a field trip. And he's got his spidey senses, so he senses the spaceship. And he heads out from the bus. He leaves the bus to go help. And this is our Stan Lee cameo here. Stan Lee is the bus driver.
Yeah.
So that's another fun one.
You're always looking for Stan, but...
Yeah. So then we pretty much just see Doctor Strange and Tony facing off with Dama and Obsidian. It's this whole big fight. And then Spider-Man shows up to help with the fight with them. And then we also do see Tony's new suit.
Yes.
The last suit we saw was pretty much destroyed in Civil War. So this is his new suit, and it's all nanotechnology.
Yeah. Looks really cool.
Yeah. It's all really, really awesome. So there is one point when Dama is able to get his hands on Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange has a spell protecting the necklace that the Time Stone is in.
So he can't take it.
Yeah, he can't get it. But Doctor Strange does get captured, and he gets taken up to the spaceship. Dama takes him up to the spaceship. And Wong teleports Obsidian into like some Arctic place. It's probably that same Arctic place that in Doctor Strange, they teleport Doctor Strange to make him use his powers.
No. Yeah, probably.
It looks like the same place. But they just kind of leave him there. So Tony heads up to the spaceship because he's trying to save not only Doctor Strange, but he's actually more trying to save the Time Stone because Tony and Doctor Strange are like the same person.
They are, and so they're going to butt heads.
Yeah, they're clashing. They clash almost throughout this entire movie.
Constantly.
It's so funny. But Spider-Man is attached to the spaceship because he was trying to save the wizard, as Tony calls him. And so Tony has a new suit sent up to Spider-Man to save him. And this is where we get the Iron Spider, which is a really cool suit.
Yeah, that's right. That is pretty cool.
It's got some legs. It's basically an Iron Man Spider-Man suit.
Pretty much.
It's freaking cool. But so Pepper is calling Tony, or Tony and Pepper are talking on the phone, and Tony's like, I don't think I'm going to make it back for dinner. It's going to be a while before I come back. And she just wants him to be careful. She's worried about him. Spider-Man was supposed to go back down to Earth, but that didn't happen. He's still on spaceship.
Yep.
And then Banner finds Tony's phone. So Bruce gets Tony's phone, and he calls Cap.
Yep.
So Cap now knows that Thanos is here. So he's got to get his stuff together and figure it out.
Wanda and Vision. Well, they're hiding.
Oh, yeah,
they're
like talking to each other and
because two of Thanos' kids show up in Scotland, and so Cap's there, and some of Thanos' kids go trying to get the stone from Vision. You know, they fight him off and everything, and all of that.
Yeah, because Wanda and Vision are fighting off the two children of Thanos that come, and then it's Midnight and Glaive, that's their name. Those are the two children of Thanos that show up.
Yes.
But then Cap and Black Widow and Falcon show up to help them fight him off. And then they all go back to the Avengers facility in New York where they meet up with Rhodey.
Yes.
So, yeah, they go back to the facility and talk to Rhodes. And Vision is saying that the only thing that can destroy the stone and keep it from Thanos is something that was made from the stone, and Wanda got her powers from the stone.
Yes.
So she's the only one that can destroy the stone, but Wanda and Cap are like, no, we don't sacrifice each other.
Yes.
For the greater good. And so they're trying to come up with an idea of what can happen and like where to go.
Place where they can get or remove the technology that they can use.
And they decide, Bruce shows up, he's here, and there's kind of like a little awkward moment, because I have a feeling that Natasha and Cap are like in a relationship, because Bruce has been gone for so long.
Whoops.
So it's kind of like an awkward reunion
Totally not
thing.
awkward.
Because that's why Falcon, he says, this is awkward when Bruce shows up, and Vision and Wanda are like, what's awkward? Because Vision and Wanda didn't really know that Natasha and Bruce had a thing.
Yeah.
So, but Bruce is like, well, we could, or no, Cap says that he might know a place, and then that they're talking about Wakanda.
That's how you get Black Panther involved, yeah.
Yeah, because Shuri is like the most... Like, she's one of the smartest people in the world.
Hell yeah.
Like, Shuri is insanely smart, so.
Yes.
So, yeah, the Guardians are driving around, and they have heard the distress call from the
Asgardian ship.
Yeah, so they go over there, and they rescue Thor. And, and Thor's like, well, Thanos is after the stones, and he already has 2 of them.
And it's probably going after, like, the others. So.
Yeah, he thinks that they're gonna go after... He thinks that Thanos is gonna go after the Reality Stone, which is at Nowhere with the Collector. And Nowhere was one of the places that they went in the first Guardians movie.
Yes.
But Thor says that he can't go to Nowhere. He needs to go to Nidavellir
to get a weapon.
Yeah, because he doesn't have his hammer anymore. He needs a Thanos-killing weapon.
Because, Big Sister destroyed it in Ragnarok.
Yeah. So, Thor and Rocket and Groot head off to Nidavellir, while Quill, Gamora, Drax, and Mantis head to Nowhere to take care of getting the Reality Stone. And they get there, and there's, like, nobody there. That should be their first clue. There's nobody on Nowhere when it was such, like, a big party city in the first Guardians movie.
Yeah, that should be a big sign.
That's your big clue that something's wrong. So, they get to the Collector, and, we don't quite know it yet, but Thanos is using the Reality Stone to make it look like he hasn't been there, like he's just now getting there.
Yes.
And so Gamora, like, kind of sneaks up and attacks Thanos and kills him. And then she, like, starts crying. And I think, so for me, I think this is partially she's crying because, she's sad that she killed him, because he was her father for so long, but then she's also crying out of joy because she killed him, because that's her captor.
Yes. It's a weird situation there.
A little bit of both there. Then Thanos reveals that he already has the Reality Stone, and that was just his little joke kind of thing. Like, that wasn't really what was happening. And he uses the Reality Stone to turn Mantis and Drax into, like, little squiggles and blocks and stuff. And slightly before they got to Nowhere,
Gamora and Quill were talking.
Yeah, Gamora had Quill promise her that if Thanos got her, he would kill Gamora, not Thanos. Because she knows something that nobody else knows. And we learn, not that long after this little thing, that Gamora knows where the Soul Stone is.
And how to get it.
Yeah. So Thanos has Gamora, like, captive, like, holding her, and she's begging Quill to kill her. And he's going to, and he pulls the trigger, but bubbles come out because Thanos is using the Reality Stone.
Yes.
And then he uses the Space Stone and just takes Gamora with him. Drax and Mantis are returned back to normal, and Quill's just, like, devastated because he knows that something is gonna happen to Gamora. So then we see Thanos is on the ship with Gamora, and he's talking to her about how he really wanted her to be the one to take his place one day.
Yes.
And she's like, I hate you, you're the devil, all this, that, and the other. Like, she hates him.
Well, he did destroy pretty much, like, her entire, family and all the people she knew.
Yeah, and I think somewhere in here, it might be a little bit after this, but we do get the flashback to where he kills half of her planet.
Yes.
And takes her. Because that's what Thanos' whole goal is he wants to take away half of the population of the universe. Because he thinks if he does that, then everyone will be happier because there's more resources for those that are there.
And I'm like, that's not how things work.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking, I'm like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a crazy person idea.
Yeah, so Thanos shows that he has Nebula. He takes Gamora to see Nebula, and he basically is, without saying it outright, saying that he knows that Gamora knows where the Soul Stone is. And he shows the memory from Nebula of Gamora telling Nebula she knows where the Soul Stone is.
Yeah.
And so, to stop Thanos from torturing Nebula anymore, Gamora says she'll take him to Vormir, where the Soul Stone is at.
Yes.
I don't know if it's quite here, but we'll just go on with the Gamora and Thanos part. They are heading to Vormir, and they get there, and they're going up the little mountain, and we get a surprise character that we haven't seen in a while. Like, I was shocked to see him. The Red Skull.
Yep.
Is the guardian of the Soul Stone. And he says that in order to get the Soul Stone, you have to give up what you love the most. You have to sacrifice what you love the most. Because it's a soul for a soul.
Yep.
And Gamora thinks she's won because she thinks that, Thanos doesn't love anything. But little does she know, Thanos really does love her. And so he has to sacrifice her to get the Soul Stone.
Yeah. And of course he does.
Yeah, and I was shocked that they did that. Like, I was completely shocked that Gamora died.
Threw her off the cliff, for God's sakes.
Yeah. It was, oh my god.
That one was another brutal one.
Yeah. So, Thanos wakes up in, like, this watery thing, like, kind of almost a dream, but then he, like, sits up out of the water, and he has the Soul Stone in his hand, and then he puts it in the gauntlet.
Yeah.
So, we'll go talk about Peter and Tony on Dama's ship.
Yeah. That works. Because there's a lot in this movie.
So, Peter and Tony are trying to rescue Doctor Strange from Dama. And he's got, like, these weird little pokey thingies sticking at him, like, holding him captive and stuff.
It's weird.
And so, Peter's like, have you seen this really old movie? He's talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Or Alien. And they pull the alien thing where you blow a hole in the side of the ship and pull everything out of the ship.
Yeah.
And it pulls Dama out of the ship, but they were able to stop Doctor Strange from getting out of the ship because Peter catches him with the iron legs from the iron spider suit, which is really cool. So, they save Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange tells Tony that no matter what, he is not giving up the Soul Stone. It doesn't matter if Tony's in danger, it doesn't matter if Peter is in danger, he is protecting the Soul Stone.
Time Stone.
Or Time Stone. My bad, Time Stone.
You're good.
And Tony's like, okay, whatever, you do you, boo.
You do you, boo. I can hear him saying that, too.
That's like a very Tony Stark thing to say.
It's
So I was like, yep.
You do you, boo. Oh my god, I can see that.
So the three of them are gonna head to
Titan, right?
Titan, yeah. They're heading to Titan because they think that's because Demas said that that's where he was meeting Thanos.
Yes.
So that's why they're going there. And then we also see a little snippet of Nebula. She's able to escape.
Yeah. And
she contacts Mantis to tell her to meet her on Titan because Nebula knows that Thanos is supposed to be going to Titan as well after he gets the Soul Stone. So they all are on Titan. So Tony and Peter and Doctor Strange get there first, and they're like looking around, and then Quill and Drax and Mantis show up, and they're like fighting each other because they think the other works for Thanos.
Yeah, but they're like all on the same side.
Yeah, and so they're like asking each other, and then they start coming up with a plan to defeat Thanos and get the gauntlet from him. Because if they can get the gauntlet from him, they control the stones. Yes. All the stones.
And there's where a bunch of memes come in a little bit later, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So they're discussing all their stuff, and Doctor Strange is looking at alternate futures, and they ask him like what he's doing, and he tells them looking at all these alternate futures, and he says he'd seen 14,605,000 different futures. And Tony's like, well, how many do we win?
One.
And Doctor Strange says we just win one.
Just one. Like, that's not very good odds at all.
And so I have the inkling that when he's saying this, when he's talking about the different alternate futures, he's not talking about their battle on Titan. He's talking about the entire thing. Like, all of Infinity War and all of Endgame. He sees it all, and he knows that in order to stop Thanos, they have to give him the stones.
Yeah.
Like, Thanos is gonna get the stones, but that's how they're gonna stop him.
Makes sense.
Because they do their little fight, Thanos shows up, and they're fighting him. In the middle of it, they start to lose fighting him. And then in the middle of it, Nebula crashes into Thanos with her ship, and that it gives the rest of them a minute to actually get Thanos under control. Mantis is like holding him calm because that's her power. She like do emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
And Tony and Peter are trying to get the gauntlet off, and Nebula realizes based on what Mantis is saying that he killed Gamora.
Because he's saying he feels like in pain, he feels sad.
Yeah.
So they deduce that Gamora's dead, and Quill is just pissed off.
Yeah. And so he like starts beating the crap out of Thanos.
It's like you could have waited like 5 more minutes, Peter.
Because Peter Parker almost gets the gauntlet off.
Almost.
Like, he has, like, tip of his fingers almost has it off. And Thanos wakes up and takes it back. He's starting to kill Tony. Like, he's getting really, really close to killing Tony. And Doctor Strange just gives up the Time Stone. He's like, I have to do this. He's like, this is the only way. That's what he tells Tony. It was like, it was the only way.
Yeah.
And that they've entered the end game, which I thought was cool because that's the name of the next one.
That's the name of the, yeah.
Yeah. And so he puts the stone into his gauntlet. And
leaves.
And he's off. And then, so now we're at Nidavellir with Rocket and Thor and Groot. Which is kind of funny. So the giant dwarf is Eitri is the character's name, but it's
Peter Dinklage.
yeah, he's such a great actor. But I just think it's so funny, the giant dwarf.
It's an oxymoron.
It is. But so these dwarves, there's like the whole planet of them. They work at like a star, and the star's name is Nidavellir. But they built a forge with this star being the fire of the forge. And Thanos came, made them make him his gauntlet.
Yes.
Because you see the mold for the gauntlet. And then he kills all of the dwarves except for Eitri, because Eitri is the one that made the gauntlet. But he takes Eitri's hands, he burns them, and puts like this silver stuff on him, so he can't use his hands.
Yeah.
So he can't forge anything else, or so Thanos thinks.
It's kind of a dick move.
It really is. Thor and Rocket... Groot's just kind of been playing on his little Game Boy thing the whole time.
Teenage Groot, of course.
Yeah. So, Thor and Rocket and Eitri are working on restarting the forge so that they can build Stormbreaker, which is going to be Thor's new weapon. His weapon that he thinks he's going to be able to use to kill Thanos.
Yeah, it's an axe instead of a hammer.
Yep. And so they do get the forge relit, but Thor has to, like, hold the eye open, so he's taking the full force of this star.
Yeah.
And so he's, like, dying, and he needs the weapon, but they can't find the handle, so Groot makes a handle for them.
Yes, he does.
Then Thor is able to pull the weapon to himself and, like, kind of revive. So, this is also, this weapon, Stormbreaker, is not only Thor's new, like, thunder weapon, but it also gives him all the power of the Bifrost, which is what Heimdall was able to control.
Yes.
So,
And helps him
that's
take
really
him
cool.
places and all that.
Yeah, so it's an even more powerful weapon than his hammer was.
True.
So, now we're in Wakanda,
Wakanda. Oh, yeah.
which I think is, I just love it.
Me too.
The whole, like, Black Panther was amazing, and then, like, this whole Battle of Wakanda was amazing.
Agreed. This is where shit gets real. Like, real.
Yeah, so Vision and Cap and Bruce and Natasha and Sam and Rhodey all come to Wakanda. They're greeted by Black Panther, of course, Shuri, all of those. They're greeted by all of the Wakandans, and also White Wolf, God, what's his name? Bucky. They're greeted by Bucky as well. So they ask Shuri to help safely extract the Mind Stone from Vision so that they're able to destroy it without killing Vision.
Yeah.
And all the while they're getting that set up, Shuri and Wanda stay up and are working on getting the Mind Stone out. The rest of them go down because the children of Thanos have also arrived in Wakanda.
It's a huge ass army.
Yep. And this is where... Okay, so yeah, Obsidian does come back. Midnight, Obsidian, and Glaive are here in Wakanda attacking. So that little battle starts, and they have the force field up so the monsters... The Chitauri, I think is what it's called, the little monster things.
Yeah, I don't remember.
They can't get through the force field. I mean, they can, but they're, like, sacrificing themselves to. So they start going around it. So T'Challa says, open just a little section so they can get through so that they don't get around and get behind them.
Yes.
Because there's nothing protecting, besides Wanda, there's nothing protecting Vision. Because Shuri's busy. I mean, Shuri can fight, yeah, but Shuri's busy.
Yes, she is.
So they open up the gate and the battle starts, and it's starting to look a little bit bad for the Avengers and T'Challa and the rest of the Wakandans. Like, it's not going very well. But then Thor and Rocket and Groot show up. And then this battle is just so awesome. It's like one of the best battles I've ever seen. And So Thor is using his brand new weapon and just wrecking them. And then so the battle starts going a little bit better for
the Avengers.
Wanda sees that they need help down on the battlefield, so she leaves Vision and goes and helps Okoye and Natasha on the battlefield because they're kind of getting wrecked a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit getting wrecked. But so she goes down there and one of the, I don't remember, I think her name is Midnight, but she might be Glaive. I don't know which one's which. She says that Vision is not protected anymore, that Wanda's down on the battlefield now. And so the other one, I know it's not Obsidian, because Obsidian's the big one. He goes up to where Vision's at and attacks. And Shuri tries to stop him, but she's not really a match for a child of Thanos. Yeah. They're very powerful. And yes, she's a good warrior, but she's more of a technical person. She's not really a warrior. But so Vision has to protect her, and he ends up down on the battlefield. Yes. And everybody's trying to protect him and everything. And it's getting really close to Thanos dropping in here. He's getting pretty close to coming in.
I mean, Thanos does show up, eventually.
Yeah, because I think at this point he's done.
He's got all the stones, I think, except this last one. Yeah.
So Bruce... But first, Bruce, he's in the Hulkbuster armor. Yes. So he is fighting Obsidian, and he gets one of the Iron Man gauntlets onto Obsidian and launches him into the air, and it launches him across the force field, the top of the force field, and he blows up. The other two children of Thanos are killed. One of them, Black Widow, or Scarlet Witch, kills with her, whatever her powers are.
She's crazy powerful.
She has no extent to her powers, seems like.
It doesn't.
But so she kills one of them, and then Vision kills the other one, protecting Cap. Yeah. So then Thanos shows up after all the children are dead. Then Thanos shows up. And so while Wanda is working on trying to destroy the stone while it's still in Vision's head because they couldn't get it out, the rest of the Avengers are down there trying to take on Thanos.
Yes, trying. That's the key word, trying. Yeah. The man's got 5 or 6 stones, so.
Yeah. He has 5 of them now, because this is the 6th one. He's almost got them all. So, there's one point in here where Cap is, holding the gauntlet and holding off Thanos, and Thanos just punches him super hard in the head. And I have a feeling that if this reality had played out, if this timeline had played out, Cap would be dead.
Oh, yeah.
Because after we see him get punched like that, we don't see him get back up. No. He is dead. I'm pretty sure he's dead at that point. But because Wanda is able to destroy the stone before Thanos can get it, Thanos has to reverse time.
Yes, because she destroyed
to put it all back. Yeah. And so Thanos puts all the stuff back, so then everyone's back from that last little bit. So Cap is back alive because Thanos reversed time. And he goes to Vision and just straight pulls the stone from his head.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's a pretty gruesome death right there.
Oh, it was. Whew.
So he puts the Mind Stone in the gauntlet. His gauntlet is now complete. And this scene is crazy with him getting all the power from all the stones and the veins of the color, and it's so vivid and it's so great. But Thor throws his axe and hits Thanos in the chest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's your one big mistake. You should have went for the arm.
Yeah, I would have went for that gauntlet.
Either the head or the arm, but he gets him in the chest. And Thanos says, you should have went for the head, and then snap.
Snaps. This is where...
And
whoa.
that's everything.
Yeah.
So, we don't see exactly what happens yet.
Yet.
We are now in the Soul Stone. Thanos is in the Soul Stone. That's why it's all orange and everything. Because that's why we see little Gamora.
Little Gamora.
He is in the because Gamora's in the Soul Stone.
She is.
So, Thanos is in there talking to little Gamora and, like, she's asking, did you do it? And talking, and he's like, yeah. And she's like, what did it cost? Everything. And so then we jump back, and now he's out of the Soul Stone, and he's in reality again. And the gauntlet is destroyed. Like, he did the one thing he wanted to do, and now the gauntlet destroyed, but he's still able to use the stones.
Yeah.
It's just he can't do what he was trying to do again.
Yeah.
So he gets away, and then people start disappearing.
That weird ashy thing where they disappear. I didn't get that for like a while because I kept seeing like these weird things because people kept trying to ruin it for me before I'd seen it.
But so, people start disappearing into ash. Bucky disappears, T'Challa disappears, Groot, Wanda,
Quill.
Sam, Mantis, Drax, Quill, Doctor Strange, Peter Parker.
Oh, Peter's was sad.
Oh.
Peter Parker's, that was just sad.
I have trivia about that one too. I actually have 3 things of trivia.
I feel like I should let you do the trivia.
I only have 3. I did a lot of research on this movie, like right after it came out and right after I watched it, just because I wanted to know as much as possible because I needed the next one already. So yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
I need
everybody,
a little bit of closure here.
Yeah, like everybody is dying. So if you think about it, the people that are left are the original Avengers. You have Tony, you have Thor, you have the Hulk,
Captain
you have Natasha,
America.
And you have Cap. And then you also have Rocket and Nebula. And then M'Baku, who is Black Panther, he's one of the people from Wakanda, and Okoye, who she's the Kingsguard, captain of the Kingsguard. So you mostly have the original Avengers left. I have a feeling they did that on purpose.
I think so.
But, so then you see that's all that's left. And then you see Thanos, this is probably like a little bit later, maybe a couple days or so, he's healed from the battle, and he's sitting on a planet just watching the sunset, and he seems happy that he has been able to accomplish his goal.
So it's not a very nice goal at all, but I mean, he did accomplish it, so
no, it's
kudos,
not.
I guess, for wiping out half the universe.
Yeah. So then we've got our post-credit scene.
Yep.
And in this is where you see you see like New York in the aftermath of the snap. And people are dissolving everywhere. There's cars driving themselves because the person that was driving them has dissolved. And helicopters crashing and everything. And then you see Nick Fury and Maria Hill.
Yeah.
And they are seeing all of this happen. And Maria vanishes.
Yeah, she's
and
first.
Nick Fury is like, oh crap. So he runs and gets his little pager thingy, and he sends out a distress signal, but then he disappears and he drops it, and then we see who the signal was to, and it was to Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. Her movie's coming out soon too, actually.
Yeah, her movie is coming out, I think, from when this gets released, like maybe 10 days.
Yeah, hers coming soon.
Yeah. So, we haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, because obviously it's not out. So we have, and Captain Marvel is also, she's like the Scarlet Witch. Her powers almost have no, like, there's no stopping her powers almost. She's really freaking powerful. So, I feel like she's going to be a big difference maker in Endgame.
Oh, she's going to be huge in Endgame.
And I do want to take a second and talk about a couple people that were not in this one. Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was not.
Was not in this. And if you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, you know why he wasn't in it.
Yes.
It's because he was in the alternate dimension thing, and he's kind of stuck there because the three that were outside, the Wasp and her parents, disappeared too in that end credits scene.
Yes.
So that's why Ant-Man isn't there, is because he's doing his thing at that point. And then
Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye. It doesn't explain why he's not there,
No.
but I have a really good feeling that his family went to Ash as well.
Probably.
Also, one other thing. Did you see if you were spared by Thanos or not?
I was spared by Thanos, actually.
Me too!
Yay! So this could continue. I was spared.
I thought that was really cool that there was a website that you could see if you were spared by Thanos.
And I was spared. I was like, hallelujah.
And I really think it just alternated at 50-50. Like 50% of the people that went on were killed and then 50% were not.
Yeah.
So I think that's freaking awesome. But yeah, so that is Infinity War. So the music for Infinity War was by Alan Silvestri.
Yes, he's done a lot of movies.
Oh yeah. He is known for The Polar Express from 2004. He did Captain America the First Avenger in 2011. He did Forrest Gump in 1994 and Predator in 1987. He composed all of the music for those. So
I was like, I'm trying to think what else. It was,
oh, there's a ton, but that's just the 4 I picked.
I was like, I thought he did the music for Back to the Future, too.
I think so. I just picked the ones because you know how it says known for and then it gives you like 4 movies. That's what I just did. I just copied those.
I was like, because he's done so many. So many.
Yeah. So, comparisons, I mean, there's not really... I don't know enough about Marvel Comics to compare it to the actual Infinity Gauntlet series.
Yeah. Because
there is a whole series of this, but I don't know enough about it, so I can't really compare it. But we do have the Avengers, we do have Age of Ultron, and we do have Endgame. So my thought when they got done with Avengers, with how they were teasing Thanos so much, I thought they were going to go straight to Infinity War as the next Avengers movie. But they didn't. They went to Age of Ultron. Which makes sense because they were able to bring about Vision with the Mind Stone. And they were they built it up more to where they were able to give us more of the stones without us really realizing that there's more stones. So, because I mean, if you don't really know a lot about Marvel, then you don't know, besides this and the slight build up that they've done for Infinity War, and you don't know anything about the stones. So, I do like that. Some people were mad about Age of Ultron, but
yeah, I can see why they're a little angry. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was a little bit confusing that they went to Age of Ultron when they had been teasing Thanos so much.
Yeah, that was confusing.
But I mean, I think it built it up a lot, and it made the anticipation that much better for Infinity War. And so we don't really know a lot about Endgame right now.
No, we've only had a teaser trailer.
Yeah, we've had 2 teaser trailers. We don't really know. I have ideas of what's going to happen. I have an idea that Eitri is going to make another gauntlet for the Avengers so that they can get the stones back and reverse it all. But I have a feeling that's probably not going to happen. I just don't really know because there's so many different ways that it could go. I have a feeling, based on some of the set photos that I've seen, that they're going to use the time stone quite a bit in the next one. So we're going to see younger versions of all of the Avengers. Like, not super younger, but younger enough that the actors that play them now can still play them.
Yeah.
And then one big theory that I have, that I'm probably wrong, but it's stuck in my mind, and if it doesn't happen, I'm going to kind of be upset, is that I have a feeling that Nebula is going to figure out a way to sacrifice herself to get Gamora out of the Soul Stone.
I can see that.
I don't know how it's going to happen, and I do know that Gamora is not, if it does happen, Gamora is not going to come back looking like Gamora. She'll still be Gamora, but she won't look like Gamora because her body is gone.
Huh.
But I do have a feeling that Nebula is going to get Gamora out of the Soul Stone. But yeah. That's all I've got. You got anything?
Trivia-wise?
No, just, like, about Avengers, like, Endgame, Original Avengers, or Age of Ultron.
Not really.
Okay.
I was like, I'm like, it's been a while since I've seen them, so.
Okay, that's fine. I was just curious if you had any theories or anything.
I was like, I've been trying to think, I'm like, what am I? Yeah, I really got nothing. I'm just excited to see Endgame.
I do know 3 things.
Okay.
I do know that when they were writing this, that the writers and directors had no limit on who they could kill.
Yeah.
It did not matter. So even, like, T'Challa, even though we know there's going to be a second Black Panther, they were allowed to kill him, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Parker, there's another Spider-Man, but they were allowed to kill him, and they did.
In the most dramatic way ever.
They took every liberty, they took everything they could possibly take and killed whoever they wanted. Because they didn't want people to know who was going to get killed.
Yeah.
So they just took it upon themselves and like, you know what? It's 50-50, let's draw these cards.
They probably had a list of, like, their names, and okay, you go, just cut it in half, call it good.
Yeah. My second trivia is Groot, when he is dissolving into ash, when he says, I am Groot to Rocket, he's calling Rocket Dad. When he's dissolving. I was like, that's really sad.
Why is he calling him, well, like, how do you know he's calling him Dad?
Because the Russo brothers said it.
Oh, okay.
It's something that they said. Because they know, the Russo brothers, when they wrote out the script and everything, they knew what every Groot line, what he was saying. And that one, they said that he was saying Dad to Rocket. That he was calling him Dad. I mean, it makes sense. Rocket pretty much raised him and has taken care of him.
It makes sense.
Ever since they've met each other. So, I mean, it makes sense. I just thought that was really sad. And then the third one that I have, you might actually have this one too, but I know this one. Tom Holland, when he was told that he was one of them that was going to die, he was told that Spider-Man was sensing it, like his spidey senses could tell that he was leaving and that he didn't want to go, and that the rest of that was improv.
It was.
Yeah. I was like, that's some really good improv.
It is. It really is.
Like, holy crap.
It's like,
But
whoa.
Yeah. You got any other trivia?
I do. That Thanos' name is taken from the Greek for the word for death.
Okay.
Which makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Completely makes sense. Well, like how they gave fake scripts to Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo.
Because they can't keep spoilers
keep
out of
their
mouths to
mouths shut.
save anything.
Like, they can't keep them shut, which I love. I'm like, well, I can
The
see
two of
why
them
they
just
gave
spoil
you fake
everything.
scripts. Because I mean, what was it? Tom Holland accidentally released the poster for the movie before he was supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Tom, you're a mess.
Yeah.
He's a mess. And it's so sad. So, I think I'll end with this one.
Okay.
The only Guardian to survive, of course, is Rocket.
Yeah.
Only one.
Well, he's the only, like, official Guardian, but
Out of the
Nebula's
ones you
kinda
see
like
on, you know, out of the ones that we know.
Yeah, Nebula's kind of, like, on the border. She's a Guardian sometimes, and then the other times she's not.
She's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
That's what I call her. She's a pain in the ass.
Nebula's, like, out for herself. She's with the Guardians when it suits her.
I would agree with that.
Okay, yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I think I'll end with that. Because it's a good end point.
Okay. So, favorite line.
There's so much dialogue in this movie.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna go with a few. Just like 3 or 4. One of my favorites is by Thanos. Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same. Natasha, we don't want to kill you, but we will. Who is Gamora? What is Gamora? Why is Gamora? Or something like that. Where is Gamora? That one. That one is funny. I am Groot. I am Steve Rogers. I love that one every time. It cracks me up. And then my last one. What did it cost? Everything. That's what I'm gonna go with. I have a lot more than that, but there's too many.
I'll just do 2. Okay. One was Thanos. It says, he's talking to Tony, he's like, you have my respect, Stark. When I'm done, half of humanity will still be alive. I hope they remember you.
Oh yeah, I like that one too.
And then Drax. I love Drax. He's amazing. He says, die, blanket of death.
Oh yeah. Drax is funny.
I love he's like, I can stand, you can't see me if I stand really still.
Yeah. He's the one that goes, why is Gamora? When they're...
I think he actually came up with that line himself, too.
Probably.
Which is nice.
He's funny, so...
So what do you think? This one's yours.
I either think that I am Groot, I am Steve Rogers, or what did it cost? Everything.
You want to go for serious or you go for funny?
I don't care. Either way.
Well, I mean, it's your movie, so one you pick.
But I like both of them equally.
Let's go for serious.
Okay. So what did it cost? Everything.
Makes sense for the movie. And maybe next year you can do Endgame if you like it.
That's if I like it, yeah.
I said if.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll find out in about 2 months.
Yeah. It may just come out in 2 months.
Yep. So what is your rating?
I'm giving it a 7.
Okay.
Giving it a 7. Like I said earlier, for my reasons.
Yeah.
Not a big action person. Seemed a little long sometimes. I mean, but it's still good.
I mean, that's literally the only reason that I'm giving it not a 10, is that it's a little bit long. I mean, I know it had to be long for them to fit everything in.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit long and it's kind of hard to sit through.
Yes. I was fidgety. I'll admit that.
I gave it a 9 just because it's 2.5 hours. I feel like if it was like 2 hours, then I would have given it a 10.
Agreed. Okay, I get you on that one.
Alright. So, that is it for this one. Our next event is going to be our Disney event.
Yeah.
And that one will be coming out the last day of April. That episode will be 4 of our favorite Disney films. The 2 that I am choosing are Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and Ralph Breaks the Internet.
And mine are Aladdin and Princess and the Frog.
Okay. So that'll be our next time and next event.
Yeah.
We're still running a contest, so if you leave a positive written review, you will be entered into that contest for a chance to come and join us for an episode of your choice. Also, we do have premium, so our premium episode for this month was the Oscar predictions. So if you aren't premium and you wanted to hear what we thought the Oscars were going to be, then go ahead and check that out. Our next month's premium for March is going to be Howard the Duck, which is one of Jess's least favorite movies.
I'm not looking forward to it, like, at all.
I'm not really looking forward to it either.
He's like, you can claim he's
movie.
like a superhero, but we're this.
Oh no, he is a superhero. Just that's not superhero worthy movie.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, that's our premium for this month and next month. So if you're not in premium and those sound kind of interesting, go ahead and check it out. We do offer $1 a month. You get free, or you get the early access. You get the uncut versions, and then the special monthly episodes every month.
Yeah.
And then you can find us everywhere if you want to talk to us. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can email us. We've got a website. If you want to get in contact with us, we're not that hard to talk to.
No.
It's pretty easy to get in contact. So.
We're pretty nice, I think.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
So our music, all of it that we have for everything, is going to be by Audio Binger. And you can find him on Facebook, YouTube, and he has a website, audiobinger.net.
Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's all we've got for our superhero event.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.